Hello, everybody, and welcome to another dramatic reading of really old creepypastas that I wrote. Okay, so we're not making fun of anyone but me. And this came about because my friend Key and I rediscovered my old, I rewatched my old creepypasta video on My Holy Hell. Link in the description. It is glorious. It was so bad. I cried. I was laughing so hard. We were laughing so hard because it was just blah. Anyway, so we're going to go with the format that I did last time. I'm going to show you the ref. It's right here. Just right there. This was not the first one, actually. I wonder if I can find that one. I might put that one up as well. This was the last time I updated the character ref sheet. So this was the most recent, which was 2014. 2014, yeah, so 9 years ago. Honestly, I cannot tell you the creative process that went through this. All the colors were actually the default colors on MS Paint, like most of my characters. And I drew in MS Paint. There's not much to explain there. What can I say? I think one of the most interesting things that I thought of was the pupils, and I remember it always took me forever, and I always was like, I hate this, but it looks so cool. And it was inside the pupils, there are a bunch of ones and zeros, and there's no real rhyme or reason to the binary. There's no code. I never thought of that in his original idea. It's just a bunch of ones and zeros. So I just clicked 1010101010, and then I erased it to be the pupil size because this is MS Paint, so you don't got layers. Anyway, I found the original story, Not a Freak, and I think you'll all enjoy it. As I walked home in the big city, New York City to be exact, I turned to enter an alleyway. I always used to get home quicker. I felt a foreboding feeling telling Mai to avoid everything, but I ignored it. Continuing walking, I thought I saw a shadow of a man, but when I got a better look, to my relief, it was just a garbage can with a cat of sorts. I don't know what that means. As I was looking at the old scruffy cat, my phone buzzed. It was something in a different language. Well, being the idiot I am, I responded. Wrong number. I left the alley quick and turned to my apartment I shared with my boyfriend and got yet another text from the number. I didn't know who was sending. No number came up under said text. I was starting to get annoyed. English, buddy. Do you speak it? Question mark, exclamation point. Question mark, exclamation point. 1 second later, a text popped up. Why, of course. You ruined my life with your harsh English words, idiot. I stared at the screen. There was only one person I can recall hurting. In the entirety of my entire life, I have only caused problems for one single person. No, it can't be. Well, you better believe it. Oh, wait, it's whispered. Well, you better believe it. I heard whispered quiet and shyly in my ear. I turned my head about to enter my apartment. How can you whisper something shyly when you want to kill Never mind. No one. That was it. I threw the door open and raced into my house, slamming the door. Yo, Silva, you okay? My boyfriend Curtis said. Okay, I knew someone named Curtis when I was a kid, and that was my childhood crush. And so I guess I was just writing from what I want, but I don't know what this main character's name is. Sylvie. That's gotta be some kind of nickname. So it's either Sylveon or Silver. And both of those names are stupid. So my boyfriend Curtis said, running towards me. Oops, I'm fine, I said. Curtis was the best boyfriend anyone could ever ask for. He worked at the police station and was sweet while I was still going to school and worked part-time in a cafe. It was kind of paradise for me. So at least 1 year after writing about Holy Hell, where the main character was 18 and owned a house, at least now I kind of understand a little bit more about how hard it is to get a home. So she's working. Boyfriend is fully fled. I don't know how old either of these guys are, but it works. The next day I was harassed with things from the past. ... James ... He was an oddball at school. I met him in school, back in middle school. I asked him if he wanted to be friends. He was shy and apparently had bipolar disorder. So this was kind of common back in 2013, 2014 to give creepypastas random mental issues to explain why they did the things they did. And this is not how bipolar disorder works. And I really do not remember this being part of his character. He was shy and quiet, and that was it. So I'm wondering if that was just some kind of excuse for him getting mad at her. Because it says some days he was nice, then pissy, and that day he made a snide remark that sparked an argument, and eventually my boyfriend at said time jumped him in an alley that night. So I'm wondering if I didn't think that shy people could speak up, because as a shy person I let a lot of crap go on by myself. The whole school seemed to turn on him because of me, and I was thrilled. I joined in with everyone in hurting him. Oh yeah, because that just makes sense. You get in one argument with your friend from middle school, and I'm assuming this is in high school, and just allowing this to happen, because I think the whole thing was himself, and I don't type that out. So I'm trying to think. It just makes no sense, but whatever. Thinking about that made me shiver as the song I Can't Decide, fuck that song, started to ring in my phone. This has gone long enough, so I texted him that night. What kind of freak stalks the innocent? My phone started to shake violently. I dropped my phone terrified. A boy with red hair, pale skin, and his eyes, those eyes. Ink was dripping out of the sockets, and zeros and ones were going crazy in them.
Freak innocent, you killed me,
he screeched, a long, thick red wire held in his hands. Lunging, I dodged as he grabbed my arm, slamming me against the wall. I screamed as a wire wrapped around my neck. Only one thought ran through my mind. Oxygen. What? Could have been help. Could have been I'm sorry. Could have been anything, but I need to breathe. But oxygen. I started to freak, squirming as the lights faded. I heard a screamed, a thud, then nothing. I woke up sometime later. Curtis, best boyfriend, hovering over me, worrying about me. Who was that? He cried. The only word I could think was James. I looked down at my arms, and to my surprise, there was a mark. I looked at it and it turned into words. Translator is not a freak. So, basically, he haunted Google Translate or something. I don't know. He killed himself. Somehow that relates to him being a computer ghost somewhere along the lines. I never thought of... So, he has a good friend. He's got one friend is what I'm assuming. She and him get along great. Until he gets cranky at her one day and makes some kind of comment, and she gets mad and tells her boyfriend to jump him, or her boyfriend just does that for fun. Just does that. And I'm assuming this is taking place in high school, not middle school, because Translator was a young adult, 17, 18. So either a teen or a young adult. So then everybody starts picking on him, including his friend for some reason. Great friend. She's just... And somehow along the way, I don't even specify this, but he himself becomes digitalized and haunts Google Translate. You know what? I was genius. I'm a freaking genius. But whatever, you're probably more here for the rest of the art. Also, I named him James Smith, which is just one step away from John Smith, the like joke American common name, whatever. Because I was just so good at naming things, but here we are. I kind of wanted to keep the idea of him haunting a computer alive, because that was what made him him. I ditched the ink, the printer ink, because listen, in this economy, I cannot afford to have one man walking around dripping ink out of his eyes. That's just wasting all my $50 refilled printer ink. Mostly the heterochromia stayed. Most of the design kind of stayed faithful. I didn't want to go too overboard like I did with My Holy Hell. I wanted to kind of see how close I could keep the original design, because in the end he was supposed to be just a dude. So I ditched the black scleras of the eyes. The whites of the eyes in his original design are black. I ditched the weird red stripe going through him that was supposed to represent the wire, and I ditched the wires wrapping around him, because I figured, well, he could just take those out of computers and electronics and stuff. Anyway, I think my favorite part of this redesign, he just looks like a dude, but his back eye is just a circle, and it's gonna shade it more, but it kind of looks like a power button now, and I kind of think that's fun. And I had the ones and zeros coming out of it, because it looks cool. I just enjoyed this, how it looked. I liked the original idea. I just wanted to make it different for the current version. And I think one of the most interesting things I did was the shading. And I think that's, I think the facial expression is pretty good, especially compared to the old non-expressive James. And I think the shading is what truly brought out the creep factor, which this is if you don't know, this is a technique called hatching. And hatching is where you just use these little lines to create shadow. So in places that have a darker shadow, you're going to have more lines to make it darker. He also is one step away doing the meme hand, and that was kind of on purpose. But really, he just looks like a dude. One of the changes that I've done, you can't see it because you can't see his neck, is I'm going to say he has no voice box anymore. He's like, something happened, he doesn't know, nobody knows, that has taken out his voice box, and it's just left this big, jagged, red gash that you can't see. It doesn't bleed anymore. He's done bleeding. It's just there. And he can't talk anymore. And so that's why he uses translation and text-to-speech and that kind of stuff. Why he uses text to try and communicate. And he's trying to get help. That is the remake idea. I got pretty lazy with the background. I'm not gonna lie. You know how hard it is to draw this guy for so long and then realize I have to have him coming out of something. I gotta have him come in on a computer or something. So, yeah, he's kind of transparent, and that was an accident. You can see areas where the blue shines through, and originally I could color over him, but I just decided that this was just kind of meant to be, because it looks like he's more of a ghost than he's ever looked. And so, yeah, here he is in all his glory. I've never actually successfully used hatching in a piece before, so I'm really happy that this looks good. One of the ways that I kept his original color palette, I actually kept it to a T, but this was something new I learned on TikTok, because TikTok is either really awful for artists because TikTok lore is bullshit, or it's really great for artists because TikTok has a lot of recommendations and tutorials that are really easy for people to follow. And I took the original color palette, colored it down, then I duplicated it onto another layer. So I had two of the same color, and the next one I changed the curves in Procreate and just kind of went nuts with it. And then I used the saturation effect, and that really made it more dull. And then I did another one. I can't remember if it was black or white or a different color scheme, but I used that on top of it to dull it down even more, so it was not just eye bleeding colors to make him look scarier, to make him look more dull like a ghost. Like maybe if he was still alive, he would be more colorful. I think originally I wanted him to have like RGB values because he was a computer ghost, but now like I'm just gonna assume when he's in the computer he's a lot more colorful, but then when he exits the computer he dulls down a ton, and that's just what we're going with. So yeah, that's Translator. He is not a freak. Do not be mean to him. He's very shy. He cannot speak the English or anything. He can speak everything, technically, because he haunts Google Translate. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Tell me if you want to see more of this. It is really fun to find all of my old pieces and recreate them. I think it's really healthy for an artist to go back and look at all their old art and laugh, because what else can you do? I mean, you can take it really seriously and think about it as critically as possible, but in the end, you were a kid, you were younger, you were having fun, and so you should keep having fun with this stupid art. I can look at it and laugh, and I want everyone else to look at it and laugh because it's entertaining that way. Especially since I was entirely serious about having a Google Translate ghost. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.